Choosing the right niche for podcasting. One of the biggest mistakes that people make with podcasting is that they don't choose the right niche. Because it is relatively easy to create a podcast, there is a temptation just to jump right in without thinking about the long-term possibilities of what you are doing. But if you are serious about making money through podcasting, then you need to choose a niche that you are comfortable with that will also provide you with money-making opportunities. A lot of experts will tell you that you should always choose a niche that you are passionate about. This is particularly important when podcasting, as the listeners will hear the passion in your voice. But the problem here is that not all passions are profitable. While there are a ton of potential money-making opportunities with a niche like dog training, there are a lot less with stamp collecting and model railways. So, when you are considering a niche for your podcast, you need to think about two important factors. Is there demand, and is there commercial opportunity? You may be thinking at this stage that if you know nothing about a niche, that it is in demand and has a good commercial opportunity, how can you be passionate about it? Well, the answer is that you can certainly become really interested in a niche like this, and when this happens, your passion will rise to the surface. Listeners, trust experts. When you choose a niche that is in demand, you will get a lot more followers with your podcasts. People who are interested in the niche will automatically believe you to be an authority, even if you are not. Now, we are not recommending that you try to create podcasts when you know nothing about a niche. That's just dumb. Because these days, you can learn a lot about a niche in a very short time. There are plenty of resources online, and you can obtain high-quality training courses for a lot of different niches. You will need to put in some effort initially to get up to speed, and you will want to get to the point where you know more about your niche than most people interested in it will know. This does not have to take you a long time. Just immerse yourself into the niche for a few days and you will learn a great deal. What you are doing here is faking it till you make it, which you might not feel that comfortable with right now. But after immersing yourself into your chosen niche for a while, you will feel a whole lot better about everything. The best way to establish yourself as an expert with your listeners is to provide them with valuable tips and advice in your podcasts. Even if you are not well known, it will not take long for most of your listeners to warm to you and trust you as an authority. Once you have achieved this, then you can start recommending related products and services. So, choose an in-demand niche with good commercial opportunities and stick with it. Whatever you do, don't go dancing around from one niche to another. You will lose your listeners very quickly if you do this. How to choose the right niche. The best way to start to identify your niche for podcasting is to write down a list of your interests and passions. Also include niches that you know a lot about, even if you do not consider that you are passionate about this. Have a look at different podcasting websites to see which niches are the most popular. Also, you can use the Google Keyword Planner and see how many searches are happening each month for niche ideas that you have. If there are thousands, then you are on the right track. For each of your niche ideas, use Google to see if there are products and services available that you can become an affiliate for and make money. Just search for niche name plus affiliate programs. The more affiliate opportunities that you can find for a niche, the better. You can also head over to clickbank.com and see if there are any digital products on offer there for your niche ideas. ClickBank is the world leader in digital products, and they sell products in tons of different niches. You can also check out physical product opportunities on Amazon.com, where you can become an affiliate and make money. Eliminate any niche ideas that do not have the demand, tested with the Google Keyword Planner, or not enough commercial opportunities in the form of affiliate offers that you can promote. Once you have done that, you can move on to the next step. How can you help people? With the remaining niche ideas on your list, write down how you can help people in each one. In every niche, there are problems, and at this stage, just identify these and don't worry if you can solve them for people or not. So, for example, if your niche idea was making money online, then there are a ton of problems that you can come up with here, including, which is the best online business model? How do I stay motivated with my online business? What is the best web hosting? What is the best autoresponder? These are the kinds of questions that people interested in the niche ask every day. You can find the answers later online. Having a number of problems to solve and the ability to provide solutions for them is a strong indicator of a good niche. Who is your competition? For the niche ideas that remain on your list, check out the competition. Having competition in a niche is a good thing, as it tends to show that there is demand and also commercial opportunity. Other podcasters want to make money as well as you do, so never be concerned about competition. Take a look at what kind of podcasts your competitors are putting out and think about how you can find another angle or do it better. Your aim is to stand out from the crowd. How many followers do your competitors have? What subjects are they creating podcasts about? If you really like a niche idea but are concerned that it doesn't have the right level of commercial opportunity, then don't worry, because there are a number of different ways that you can monetize the podcast you create, which we will cover in a later video. Planning for great podcasts. Okay, so you have chosen your niche and you have identified a number of problems that people in the niche have and know how to answer them. Surely it is time to start recording your podcast now. Well, not quite. You need to plan your podcast first. What does this mean? Well, how will you brand yourself in the world of podcasting? This is more than just selecting a great name for your podcast or getting great cover art designed. It is about how you want your listeners to know your podcast. You need to get this right, as it will set you up for success. What is the mission and vision of your podcast? Before you start to record anything, you need to establish a mission and vision for your podcasts. When you have done this, then you are sure to create the right kind of content. To be sure we are on the same page here, let's define what we mean by a mission and vision. Your mission is your goal for your podcast and how you intend to achieve this goal. A vision is how you want your podcast to look in the future. Both of these are really important, so you need to spend time on this. Once you have defined your mission and vision, you can ensure that every published podcast aligns with them both. What kind of personality and voice? Your podcasts are going to be a reflection of you. They will be unique because you are unique. You don't want to sound like everybody else, do you? So how can you make sure that you avoid that? The best thing to do is to act naturally when recording your podcasts. Speak normally as you do in real life. There are no censors, and nobody is there judging you. You may want to avoid using certain words if you think that they are not going to resonate well with your audience, though. You should always come up with a catchy tagline for your podcast. Add something about your niche in your tagline and make it unique and inspiring. Take your time over this, as you want a tagline that is going to persuade new listeners to try out your podcasts. Be consistent. Your personal branding is not just limited to your podcasts. It is best to be consistent with all of the platforms that you use. Use the same branding on your website or blog, your Facebook page, your YouTube channel, and any other platforms you use. Get some good-looking cover art created for your brand. If you don't have any graphic design skills, then head over to Fiverr.com and pay a few bucks to someone good to do this for you. Use this cover art on all your platforms so that your audience will instantly recognize it no matter which one they are on. If you don't do this, then you are going to confuse people. With different branding, your podcast and your social media channels, for example, your audience will not be sure that they are on the right page for your stuff. Create a community around your brand. People love communities as it provides them with a sense of belonging. The best podcasters always foster a sense of community with their listeners. As an example of this, there is a popular podcast series called Entrepreneurs on Fire by John Lee Dumas. He calls his listeners the Fire Nation to instill a sense of community. So if you're going to create a podcast about online marketing, you could call your audience the Digital Marketing Geniuses or something like that. If you are already well known on other channels and have a specific branding, then keep this going on your podcasts. Be sure to set up all of your other channels if you don't have them. You want to do everything that you can to make all your listeners feel very special. When they tune into your podcasts, they feel great because they are a part of the Digital Marketing Genius community, or whatever you have called it. So, you need to put in a bit of time planning for your podcast. This is time well spent, as your listening audience will appreciate what you are trying to do for them. A strong community will always be on your side, unless you break your own rules, and they will want you to keep producing your great podcasts for a long time. The equipment you need for podcasting. Before you create any podcasts, you need the right equipment. The worst thing that you can do is to produce podcasts where the audio quality is poor. Nobody will want to listen to them. A podcast is all about audio, and trying to record using the microphone in your laptop or the one attached to a pair of cheap headphones is out of the question. You need to think about the type of podcasting you plan to do. If you're going to have a setup where guests will appear on your podcast by dropping into your home studio, then you will need a mixer and some other gear. We do not suggest that you start this way. It can cost you a lot of money to create a mini studio like this. We recommend that you start by creating the podcast yourself and conducting interviews over an app like Skype. The advantage of doing this is that you can interview people anywhere in the world. The disadvantage is that sometimes the quality of Skype recordings varies, and the person being interviewed will need a good microphone. So, we will take a look in this video at a home setup where you will use a computer for the recordings, and then we will discuss the options for setting up a mini studio where guests can come and record a podcast with you. The simple podcast recording setup. This is the simplest form of podcast recording setup that you can do at home. You will need a computer, which you probably already have, a high-quality microphone with a pop guard, good quality headphones, and audio editing software. Most computers will be fine. You do not need a high-end computer to record good quality podcasts. Audio files are a lot smaller than video files, and if you have a reasonably modern desktop or laptop computer at the moment, this should be more than sufficient. Podcast recording with mobile devices. What about mobile devices? Well, you can record a podcast on your smartphone or tablet, but you will need a higher quality microphone than the one included in your device. There are a number of recording apps available for audio for both Android and iOS devices, so mobile device recording is certainly a possibility. What microphone? If you're just going to use your computer for solo podcasts and Skype interviews, more on this later, then we recommend that you get a good quality USB microphone. A USB microphone will work very well with your computer. There are two different types of microphone, which are 1. Condenser, 2. Dynamic. A condenser microphone is all that you need for solo recordings. If you intend to have 2 people on a podcast recording into your computer, then dynamic microphones are best. You can find good quality USB microphones available on Amazon.com for a reasonable price. A couple of good examples are the Blue Yeti. There are some great accessories for this, which is a condenser microphone. The Audio-Technica ATR 2100, which is a dynamic USB/XLR microphone. If you want to record using your smartphone or tablet device, then you will need a better microphone than the one that comes with the device. You can use a lavalier microphone here, such as the Rode SmartLav Plus, which is an omnidirectional microphone that you can clip onto a lapel or a tie for good quality recordings. The Rode SmartLav Plus plugs straight into your smartphone or tablet jack. This is a good option if you plan to travel around to make podcast recordings. It will work on most Android and iOS mobile devices. Get a pop guard or pop filter. Some microphones come with a pop guard or pop filter already supplied. If your chosen microphone does not have a pop filter, then we strongly recommend that you get one, as it will improve the sound quality of your podcast significantly. Microphone stand. You will need some form of microphone stand, otherwise you will have to hold your microphone when you are recording your podcast, which is far from ideal. You can get a small desk stand for your microphone so that it sits upright on your desk. This is sufficient in most home recording situations. Another way to hold a microphone in place is to use a boom arm. These are available separately, or you can purchase them in a bundle with the microphone. The Blue Yeti microphone certainly has this option. You clamp the boom arm to a desk, and then you can move it around so that it is in the perfect position for your recordings. Good quality headphones. Although you can record a solo podcast into your computer without headphones, we recommend that you use a pair of good quality headphones for all of your recordings so that you get live feedback on the quality. You can choose between in-ear or earbud headphones or the conventional over-the-ear headphones. One of the best values for money earbuds is the Panasonic Ergo Fit. If you want to go up a notch in quality, then we recommend the One More triple driver in-ear solution. If you prefer the over-the-ear headphones, then the AKG Pro Audio AKB K92 closeback headphones provide great quality sound at a very good price. Of course, there are higher quality over-the-ear headphones available, and if you want the best, then the Grado SR352E are really up there. Audio editing software. When you record your podcasts, it is very unlikely that you will not want to make some edits to it. You may have made some mistakes that you want to cut for the final production, and you can make your podcast sound really professional by adding intro and outro music and sound effects. Well, we have some good news for you here. After spending money on a good microphone and other accessories, there is no need for you to pay for audio editing software. There are 2 free audio editing suites which provide all the tools that you need to produce high-quality podcasts. Windows computers, Audacity; Mac computers, GarageBand. There are other audio editing suites, some of which are free and others where you will need to pay for them. In all honesty, Audacity and GarageBand are all you need, so why pay for an editing suite when you don't need to? We're not going to explain how to use these audio editing suites here, as it is beyond the scope of this training. There are plenty of videos on YouTube that will show you how to use the basic and advanced features of these 2 audio editing suites. With both of these apps, you can produce your final podcast in MP3 format. If you want to do your audio editing on your smartphone or tablet device, then there are a number of free and paid apps available for this. For Android devices, there is Wave Editor, for example, and for iOS devices, you can use GarageBand or TonePad. It is not the easiest thing to do to edit your recordings on a smartphone with these apps. So a better option would be to save your initial recording in MP3 format on your phone using an app, and then copy it onto your computer and use Audacity or GarageBand. The Advanced Podcast Recording Setup. If you want to create a podcast recording studio, then you will need some additional gear. You will need to use dynamic microphones with an XLR connector for plugging into a mixer. You will also need the mixer, maybe a preamp, a digital recorder, and a number of boom arms to hold the microphones in place. The idea here is that you will create your podcast using the mixer and digital recorder, and then transfer the recording onto your computer so that you can perform your edits with Audacity or GarageBand. To create a podcasting studio like this is going to take some serious investment, so you need to be sure that this is the way you want to go. This is an ideal setup if you are in a good location where guests can easily drop in and participate in podcasts with you.